Welcome to this deep dive, and we're going to be talking about some fun, some seriously futuristic tech that's straight out of science fiction. I mean, we're talking robots doing our chores.
It's wild.
Even bringing back beloved pets. And we're looking at real-world examples happening right now.
Exactly. And it's moving so fast. I think, even a couple of years ago, we wouldn't have even thought some of this stuff was possible.
Well, yeah, and I think that's why it's such a fascinating topic to deep dive into. So let's just jump right into it.
Yeah.
First up, humanoid robots.
Love it.
So I saw this footage from France 24, and they were talking about this company called 1X.
Yeah, I saw that word too.
And their creation, Neo-Beta. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've been following their development for a while now. Really cool stuff.
It looks so sleek. Like it's got this humanoid design and even a futuristic outfit.
Yeah, very stylish.
And get this, it's designed to be a household helper.
Oh, wow.
Potentially doing things like laundry, cleaning and tidying.
So like Rosie the robot from the Jetsons.
Totally.
Except this is real life.
It's not a cartoon.
And even more interesting is the AI behind it.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about that.
So it's actually powered by OpenAI.
Those are the folks behind ChatGPT.
The same ones.
Wow.
And the other interesting thing is you can control it remotely.
They call it teleoperation.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
I saw in the video somebody controlling Neo-Beta in New York from like thousands of miles away.
Yeah. I mean, theoretically, you could like teleport into your robot to finish those chores you forgot.
Or like hang out with your family virtually.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And it's more than just basic commands. The robot is actually learning through something called reinforcement learning.
Oh, tell me about that.
That's a type of AI that gets better with each task it performs.
So the more it does it, the better it gets.
Exactly.
Wow.
Pretty cool, huh?
I mean, it is cool,
Yeah.
but it's also like, is this the future we want? Like, what are the implications of having robots that can learn and adapt like that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a big question, and it's one that we're going to have to grapple with as this technology gets more and more sophisticated.
For sure. Well, let's talk about how it learns all these skills.
Yeah, so 1X, they train their AI using prototypes that are controlled by humans.
So basically, it's learning by watching and imitating.
Exactly.
Like a kid learning from their parents.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. They're exposing the AI to tons of real-world situations so it can develop,
Real intelligence.
robust intelligence. Exactly.
Fascinating.
And also, as you said, a little bit unnerving to think about.
A little bit. And they're going to release the remote-controlled version in 2025.
Yeah, not that far away.
That means robot helpers could be in our homes sooner than we think.
Are you ready for a robot to take over your chores?
Well, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so robots might be handling our laundry soon, but what about our furry friends?
Our pets.
That's where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
So let's switch gears and dive into the world of animal cloning.
This is a topic that always sparks debate.
Always does.
It's a complex issue.
It is.
Really brings up a lot of questions about our relationship with animals.
And just like the boundaries of science. We'll look at this story of Tom Rubathon from the UK, who decided to clone his dog Daisy.
I read about that.
France 24 covered his story. It's really a tearjerker.
Yeah.
Tom was so attached to Daisy that he sold his Mercedes cars to afford the cloning.
Both of them.
Yeah. A sports car and a classic. 40,000 pounds.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Says a lot about the bond we have with our pets.
Yeah, they're like family.
For sure.
And for Tom, having Daisy's clones, they're named Meadle. And Mabel was clearly worth every penny.
It seems like it.
Now, you might be wondering why the cloning wasn't done in the UK.
Yeah.
Well, the actual process is restricted there.
Because of laws.
Yeah. So Tom used a company called Gemini Genetics, which facilitates the service.
Okay, so they kind of handle the logistics.
Yeah, they're like the middleman. And the actual cloning takes place in South Korea.
Where the regulations are different.
Yeah. They use a surrogate mother.
So basically, another dog carries the cloned puppy.
Exactly. So how does this whole cloning thing actually work?
Well, it starts with taking a small skin sample from the animal you want to clone.
Okay.
And from that sample, they extract DNA.
Which is like the genetic blueprint.
Exactly. Then they use that DNA to create a cloned embryo.
And then
That embryo is implanted into a surrogate mother who carries the pregnancy to term.
so the clones are essentially genetic twins of the original animal,
Exactly.
but they're not carbon copies.
Right. Think about human identical twins.
Oh, that's a good point.
They share the same DNA, but can have totally different personalities and even look different.
Because of things like environment and upbringing.
Exactly.
So is cloning really bringing your pet back?
That's a good question.
Or is it more like creating a new individual that just happens to have the same genes?
That's the debate scientists and ethicists are having right now.
It's a big question. The report mentioned over 200 pets have already been cloned.
That's a lot.
I know, I was surprised. Seems like this technology is gaining traction,
It is.
but it definitely raises some ethical questions.
For sure.
What do you think, listener? Where do you stand on the ethics of pet cloning? It's definitely something to ponder.
It is.
Okay, so we've talked about robots and pet cloning, and now I kind of want to keep going with this whole blurring lines between science fiction and reality.
Okay, yeah, where are we going?
What if you could step back in time or visit places you've only dreamed of without even leaving your couch? Virtually.
Well, technology is making those kinds of experiences possible with these virtual tours.
Yeah, and they're changing how we experience the world.
For sure.
I mean, it's not just about seeing cool places, though.
Right.
Remember earlier we were talking about how robots might be assisting with surgery in the future?
Uh-huh.
Well, VR is actually being used to train surgeons right now.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So these medical students can practice complex procedures in a safe virtual environment.
Yeah, before they ever operate on a real patient.
It's like a high-tech flight simulator for surgeons.
Totally.
Talk about a game changer.
Huge.
And think about the implications for other fields, too.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine students taking virtual field trips to ancient Rome.
Oh.
Or the Amazon rainforest.
Yeah.
It's bringing the world to the classroom.
In a whole new way.
Absolutely.
And also for people who might not be able to travel.
Because of physical limitations or costs.
Exactly.
These virtual tours open up so many possibilities.
Yeah.
It really makes the world accessible to anyone.
It does.
And we've already talked about the amazing 3D tour of the Anne Frank house.
All right.
But there are so many other examples.
Oh, tons.
Museums, historical sites, and even natural wonders that you can now experience through VR.
Yeah. Want to climb Mount Everest.
Uh-huh.
Explore the Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah, now you can all from your living room.
Crazy.
And these virtual tours are getting so sophisticated.
Yeah.
They incorporate interactive elements, high-definition visuals, and even sound effects.
It really creates an immersive experience.
It's like stepping into another world.
Totally.
It's mind-blowing to think about what the future holds for VR.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe one day we'll be able to teleport ourselves anywhere.
Or experience historical events.
As if we were actually there.
Wow.
It's certainly possible.
I think so too.
But as with any new technology, we need to consider the potential downsides too.
Of course.
Right. I mean, as cool as VR is, we need to be mindful of how much time we're spending in these digital worlds.
Yeah.
It's all about balance.
Definitely.
We don't want to lose touch with the real world and the importance of face-to-face interactions.
For sure.
Speaking of the real world, let's bring it back to those robots we were discussing earlier.
Okay.
The field of robotics is advancing so quickly.
It is.
And we're seeing robots doing some pretty amazing things these days.
Right.
Like assisting in surgeries, exploring the depths of the ocean,
Yeah.
and even working alongside humans in factories and warehouses.
It's really incredible.
It makes you wonder, are robots going to take over the world?
I don't know about taking over the world.
Okay, maybe not take over.
But they're definitely going to play an increasingly important role in our lives.
For sure.
Yeah, it's something we need to be thinking about, both the opportunities and the potential challenges.
Like what kind of challenges?
Well, one concern is job displacement. As robots become more sophisticated, they're capable of performing tasks that were previously done by humans.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I've also heard that robots will create new jobs as well.
That's also true.
So it's kind of a double-edged sword.
It's probably going to be a combination of both.
Yeah, some jobs will be lost and others will be created.
Right.
So it's all about adapting and preparing for these changes.
Exactly.
And it's not just about jobs either.
Right.
There are also concerns about privacy and security.
As robots become more integrated into our lives.
Exactly. I mean, if robots are collecting data about our homes and habits,
Yeah.
we need to make sure that information is protected.
Absolutely.
It's a lot to think about.
It is.
But one thing's for sure, the world of robotics is incredibly exciting.
It is.
And it's only going to get more interesting from here.
I completely agree.
You're on the cusp of some major advancements.
And it's fascinating to watch it all unfold.
Now, you've probably heard of robots made of metal and plastic. But what about robots made of something soft and squishy?
Oh, you're talking about soft robotics.
Yeah.
That's a relatively new field that's getting a lot of attention.
I read that instead of rigid metal, these robots are made from materials like silicone and rubber.
Yeah.
That's like something straight out of a science fiction movie.
It is kind of.
So what can they do?
Well, these soft robots can do some pretty incredible things.
Like what?
They can squeeze through tight spaces.
Wow.
Conform to different shapes.
Okay.
And even handle delicate objects without damaging them.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So what are some real-world applications for this?
Well, imagine a soft robot that could navigate the human body
Okay.
to deliver medicine or perform surgery with minimal invasiveness.
Oh, wow.
Or a robot that could squeeze through rubble to search for survivors after an earthquake.
Wow.
The possibilities are pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, soft robotics has the potential to revolutionize a lot of industries.
It definitely does, and we're just starting to scratch the surface of what's possible.
It's incredible to think about how far robotics has come.
Yeah.
And where it's headed.
It's crazy.
From clunky industrial robots to these incredibly sophisticated and adaptable machines. The future of robotics is truly fascinating.
It really is. And as artificial intelligence continues to evolve, it's only going to get more interesting.
I mean, we're blurring the lines between human and machine in ways we never thought possible.
Well, we are.
It's definitely a lot to consider.
It is.
But before we wrap up this deep dive into cutting-edge tech,
Okay.
there's one more area I want to explore with you.
Okay.
It's a field that's not only pushing the boundaries of science, but also raising some big ethical questions.
Ooh, what is it?
Biotechnology.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
It's a fascinating field with the potential to improve human health and address some of the world's biggest challenges.
It is, but as you said, it also raises some important ethical considerations.
Exactly. So let's dive into the world of biotechnology, where scientists are doing some pretty mind-blowing things with gene editing, synthetic biology, and personalized medicine.
This is a field that's moving incredibly fast.
I know, right?
Definitely want to watch.
Stay tuned as we explore the frontiers of biotechnology and discuss the potential benefits and risks of these game-changing technologies. So we're back, and we've talked about all kinds of mind-blowing tech so far.
Robots cloning, virtual reality.
Exactly. And for this last part of our deep dive, I want to focus on the advancements in biotechnology.
Yeah, it's really changing how we understand and treat diseases.
It is, and there's so much to unpack, but I'm really fascinated by gene editing.
Oh yeah, like CRISPR.
Yeah, CRISPR. It's like having molecular scissors. They can just snip out and replace faulty genes.
Exactly.
I mean, imagine the possibilities for curing genetic diseases.
Yeah, it's a really powerful tool with the potential to treat so many conditions.
Like cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy, even certain types of cancer.
And the list goes on.
It does, but you know, it also raises some ethical questions.
Oh, for sure.
Like, how far should we go in manipulating our genes?
It's a big question.
It is. Where do you draw the line between treating disease and enhancing human capabilities?
Yeah, that's something society's going to have to grapple with.
Absolutely. And speaking of pushing boundaries, there's also synthetic biology.
Oh, yeah, that's another area of biotechnology that's really taking off.
Instead of just editing existing genes, synthetic biologists are creating entirely new biological systems from scratch.
Like from nothing.
Sounds like science fiction.
I know it does.
But it's actually happening.
It is.
I read about scientists engineering bacteria to produce biofuels, even creating artificial cells that can perform specific tasks.
It's really incredible.
It is. Synthetic biology has the potential to revolutionize everything.
I think so.
I mean, medicine, agriculture, manufacturing, environmental remediation.
Imagine a future where we can program cells to produce life-saving drugs.
Or clean up pollution.
Exactly.
The possibilities seem endless.
They really do.
And then there's personalized medicine.
Oh, yeah. Tailoring treatments to an individual's unique genetic makeup.
Exactly.
I mean, imagine a world where doctors can prescribe medications and therapies based on your specific genetic profile.
That could lead to more effective treatments.
And fewer side effects.
It's really amazing how biotechnology is blurring the lines between biology and technology.
Yeah, it's fascinating to see how these fields are coming together.
It's a field that's moving at warp speed.
It is.
And raising some big questions about the future of healthcare ethics.
And what it means to be human.
So we've explored some pretty amazing technologies today.
Robots that can learn.
Animals that can be cloned.
Virtual worlds that transport us to different places.
And now biotechnology rewriting the code of life itself.
It's mind-blowing to think about what the future holds.
It really is. And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this one final thought.
Okay, I'm listening.
All of these advancements that we talked about today, they're not just happening in some far-off future.
Right.
They're happening now.
They are.
And they're going to impact our lives in ways we can only begin to imagine.
It's true.
So the question is,
what is it?
Are you ready?
Well, I don't think it's really about being ready or not. It's about being aware and engaging in these conversations and making informed decisions about the future we want to create.
I think that's a great point.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive.
Wow.
But I hope this sparked your curiosity and gave you some food for thought.
Lots to think about.
Definitely. Thanks for joining us.
Of course.
Keep exploring.
Yeah.
Keep questioning and keep learning.
Always.
See you next time for another deep dive into a fascinating topic. Until then, stay curious.